Good morning, Hexicans. How we all doing out there in Hexaco land? It's truly an honor and a blessing to be here with you guys today, streaming from the beautiful country of Puerto Rico. Dane will not be here today, so we got a one-man stream, of course, with all of you guys coming on the show, hopefully. But he's out picking up his Tesla, being imported over from the mainland. So there's a lot of due process he's got to go through to get that thing, and he's probably going to be waiting in line for hours to pick the thing up. It sucks. So one thing about living out here is any due processes that you got to do, like for example, getting your driver's license, you're going to wait all day long in line to do such. So it sucks. But we're still coming on live. I figured I'd come on and do a quick stream with you guys. And do open mic. I love the open mic show day because we get to hear your guys' thoughts and your opinions of all the stuff going on in cryptocurrency, specifically in Pulse Chain. And one of the biggest hot topics, obviously, is EHEX, PHEX. I still love both assets. I obviously own way more PHEX because I do believe that is the dominant hex, and EHEX or Hex Classic will still have a place. You just watch, but it is more of a meme coin. I still feel like it will have a future. It will be highly volatile. It will go up probably tremendously in price and go down tremendously in price. Who knows? But I'm here for it. I even picked up a bag of it after all the controversy when it hit bottom, and I'm already up like 200% on that buy. So it's absolutely amazing. But man, we got some guys coming in already. Let's go ahead and bring them on the show. Guys, I dropped the StreamYard in the chat. Please feel free to come on and let's talk everything crypto or real estate or money or anything in life. This is your guys' show. I am just the host. So we got Norbert. He's up in the waiting room. We got Cam. We're going to bring him up today. What's going on, guys? Welcome. What is your guys' thoughts? We'll start off. And we'll start with you, Norbert. What's your thoughts of the EHEX to PHEX debacle?
It's a very complex topic on Tuesday in the Frank Mastermind. We were kind of talking about it.
Because I was so busy getting ready to come back to the island.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're always busy, man. You need some sort of like a secretaries and like bodyguards and drivers and whatnot.
We had two secretaries already, and it's still but it's all for our business and our work stuff. And so it's not for our personal life. A personal life.
You might need like a personal concierge. I used to be a concierge in a hotel, and we have with so many things for various people, from Formula One drivers to celebrities, athletes, Olympians, nice ordinary families, random, a really wide range of people. But EHEX, PHEX, that's a difficult one. That's a difficult one because back in the day, I put some money into it, and when my stake finished, I didn't take it out. I broke it down into chunks, restaked it. Didn't work out well because now the gas is more than the actual stake worth, unfortunately. So that one is, aves bites. That's it, halas. But I'm thinking, if Alex from Icosa and Hedron comes out with some sort of good stuff, then because even over there, on Alex platform, it's quite a significant amount of capital is being logged in various forms. So if we would let that go, that would be a big waste, in my opinion. But whoever has liquid stakes, probably they could bring it over to Pulse Chain. And I wanted to ask you this actually. Does it really matter when you put liquidity on Pulse Chain, that is, you put like EHEX, PHEX, or you put PHEX, EHEX? Does it make a difference when you do that on version 2 to earn fees, or
not on
or doesn't matter?
2 because it's a 50-50 pool, and so they're both equally weighted. Now, if you're over on FUX, the PHUX protocol, and you're like an 80-20 pool, then it's you have to be very intentional about which one you're putting first if you're going to do an 80-20 pool. But for something like an E-hex, P-hex, I feel like that would be a good liquidity pair. Although if whatever runs up, so for example, if E-hex were to run up because it drops so deep, if you saw a little run up, which I think it could, just because people love to speculate and buy things like a meme coin. I feel like that's what will happen. You could lose some impermanent loss in those pools. So be careful with those pools. That's all I'm trying to.
I know, but I was thinking about this the other day, that when Richard released Push Chain, what was the main idea for that? Whoever got copies on Push Chain, he said, if you wanna participate, bring over your Ethereum version of your tokens to Push Chain. So if we don't do that as Hexicans and Pulsicans, then how do we expect other people who get a different type of ERC20 tokens to bring it over, pair it in liquidity, and then build? You know what I mean? Because otherwise we're just talking. Like we have to do that. Like I said, unfortunately for me, everything is staked. And back in the days, for example, one of my stake was like $2.5 grand. Now it's worth like I said, less than the thing itself. So what I've done is I ratio traded some of my P-hex to E-hex, and I managed to get as much wrapped E-hex on Pulse Chain as much as I had over there stuck on ETH. And I know it's brave, but at this age and time, and then we go back to basic rule number 1: you only invest in crypto as much as you can afford to lose. So for me, this money is more about, like I said, being who you are, support the project, the community, do what you're meant to do, provide liquidity and stuff like that. So for me, I'm not saying I don't care at all, but it's money that it's not gonna kill me if I lose it. But let's see. At the same time, I'm no one here to judge Richard. Probably he's got like zillion different things going through his mind. Yep. I'm not willing to lock out the possibility that BankX guys contacted him and they said, "Hey, look, man, we got a lot of E-hex. Why don't we try to do something about it?" Maybe they tried to put some pressure on him, and he was like, "Yeah, screw this, whatever." And that was like the top of the the last drop for him in the glass, because people like me who are a strong believer of, like I said, I haven't sold any E-hex since when I started doing hex, end of 2020 or beginning of 2021. So nearly 3 years, I haven't touched it, because for me, that was like a long-term kind of thing. I was always, when the stake finished, I changed around a little bit, maybe made it longer, break it down to smaller pieces. So I was into the system, which means that if we kill E-hex, I understand that, Richard says, yes, Ethereum fees are too high, but it could have been handled maybe a little bit better to say, look, guys, I understand that we're facing this difficult situation. I came up with the idea that for the next 20 days, you can bring over your E-hex as much as you can. We can somehow balance it out or whatever. I'm not that advanced or technical about these things, and probably that would hurt him as well on long term, like manipulation or whatever.
It's funny you mentioned that, and you mentioned Alex, because I think that's what Alex is kind of like his intent is, and he's even mentioned, since the whole debacle has took place, or maybe we call it the decoupling, the E-hex decoupling, right? Because he's even mentioned that his plans have not changed. So he's creating the B2 contract for E-ICOSA, P-ICOSA, E-Hedron, P-Hedron, and there's also was intent where he, I don't know how he's doing this. The guy's a big brain, but you're able to stake E-hex over on Pulse Chain and receive more E-hex. I don't know how that's going to happen or how that works. I'm not a dev. I don't pretend to be on TV either. But he's a very smart individual, and he said at this point his plans have not changed. And so, in fact, when I saw E-ICOSA dump the shit the bed too this recently, from the EHEX, I went and picked up a bag of EICOSA. I feel like that is a very strong value buy right now because assuming that Alex delivers on intent, and he says nothing has changed so far. It could. I mean, this is part of crypto, right? We can buy anything and go to zero. Go buy stocks and bonds. We don't know what this stuff is going to be worth even tomorrow, let alone 2 months, 3 months down the road. But man, if he delivers on intent, that EICOSA is in tremendous value right now, and you can buy that and get your. I remember when I bought it, it was at 5 cents, and PICOSA was 12 cents. I don't know what it is today. I think PICOSA has come down in value a little bit, but regardless, if you're getting 1-to-1, look at that value there, and I think EHEX, if he does deliver on intent, and there is some kind of staking over on Pulse Chain, that'd be very interesting to see. I bet EHEX has a little rally, has a little run up against PHEX and all the other assets. So I don't know, man. I'm here for it. I'm here to speculate. It's part of my lottery bag. I have my core portfolio, which is about 90%, and that's just like PulseX, Hex. Your even Inks in there, even though people might consider Ink as a lottery, but I don't. I consider it part of my core. And then I have my lottery bag, and EHEX is in the lottery bag. I did a new buy just the other day when we hit like 4015 or 18.
Oh, you managed to pick up that low. Nice one. I managed to pick some at 2.5.
Yeah, I bought.
But I didn't have to use too much PHEX.
Yeah, man, I was able to get 3 million EHEX. It was incredible. And I was like, all right, well, this is my lottery play. It can go to zero. Screw it. And, I bought, but it didn't feel good to buy. But that's usually when you're making the right moves. I mean, I remember when I was buying Pulse after the SEC news, I was literally throwing up in my mouth every time I bought because I felt like I was just dumping the money down the toilet. But look at Pulse now. We're like a 3x off the bottom, or maybe it's a 2.5, but it's doing well, and we're having a lot of bullish momentum and price structure to the upside. So now I'm no longer if I buy Pulse, it feels good. It shouldn't feel good. Your buys should not feel good. They should feel like crap, and that's how you know you're at a bottom. And who knows? Maybe EHEX turns out to be nothing and it dies like everybody, all the maxis want. That's fine, whatever. I still have a very large EHEX.
I don't think he's gonna die because sorry, Ken. We give you a mic in a second. I just finish this in a minute. But I'm not sure if you heard about a guy called Martini Guy, and he was saying that if he was saying if all the Hexicans would buy about $100 worth of EHEX, that would put us on the map significantly because that would generate massive green candles. And to be fair,
more than $100 worth. So
now it's difficult because if you go on ETH, it's like a transaction fee worth $100. It costs you $100, to buy something for $100. So it doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah. But I strongly believe in bridging, guys. Bring it over your EHEX, even if for the sake, look at it like a Hex classic. Something which, this is how everything started. We shouldn't just, because right now, how Hex. I look at Hex at the moment, the way how it's been treated, like Bob. Bob used to. Bob was working in the company for the last 50 years. He was really productive before. Now he's a bit older. He's a bit slower. Now he's got less responsibilities. He's just cleaning things around. And then guess what? The accountant, the new manager comes and he looks at the books and is like, nah, we need to save another 50K, man. I'm sorry, Bob. We had to make this difficult decision. The door is that way. You have to leave. I fired you. So this is how I look at Hex at the moment. But sorry, Ken. Yeah, please go ahead and say whatever is on your mind.
I want to say one more thing, and then we're going to give you a chance, Cam, to kind of express your opinion about it. The one thing I will say moving forward, I'm in the middle in all this. I'm very Switzerland when it comes to stuff. I feel like the guys who are hardcore, PHEX, EHEX is dead. PHEX is the only way. Oh, Sami, you're stupid. Those kind of guys, they're wrong. And then also the guys who they tout, oh, EHEX should be. You should build your portfolio around that too, and they're wrong. In my opinion, don't build your portfolio around EHEX. Don't make that the main store of value. Don't make that your core position. Put it in the lottery bucket. So I just want to say that if you're building out T shares and your portfolio around the EHEX asset, you can end up getting hurt pretty bad in the future if this thing does get wrecked again by RH or by whoever. So just be mindful and careful, guys. Usually in crypto, some diversification keeps you safe. Over diversified, you miss out on gains because you don't have enough money in any one spot. But being a little bit diversified is good. For example, being in all the RH assets. Like right now, Ink and PulseX are ripping. That's great. But is that going to be that way all throughout the bull run? We don't know. What if Pulse and PX take a turn and they want to grab a seat at the table? That's why being diversified in all of them, for me, is the best strategy. And then throw the EHEX bag into the lottery bucket if you want to play that game too. But only throw in the lottery bucket. I would not build it out as part of your core position. So, Cam, what are some of your thoughts about all this?
Well, to be honest, I'm actually not even in EHEX. I'm actually in the core. I am kind of still a beginner at this, so I've literally only diversified through the core products. I'm in Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Ink as well. I've got like over 4 figures diversified through all 4 of those individual stocks and assets. But yeah, I was at the through the accelerator is how I got into this, which was very, very valuable. I got a lot of value out of that. And like, I'm just one of those people saying like, you know what, I'm in Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Ink, and I'm just going to leave them where they are and just wait until the bull run is over to get out.
I love it, man. I will say, Accelerator Guys is one of what we do is we teach people from like the basics of crypto from A to Z, like how to set up a hardware wallet, how to onboard money, how to transact, and that's what me and Dane do to get people onboarded and to get them up to speed in DeFi. And if you guys are interested in that, most of you guys watching the show already are very DeFi proficient. But if you have friends who are not, let us know. And we love onboarding new people all the time. And I would say this, Cam, one of the best things you could do, especially if like you don't want to spend a lot of time or guesswork or extra money, right? Throwing extra money around. You could just go into the core assets and the core assets only, and you're going to be in a very, I feel like, good spot or good place for this next bull run, just by only buying core assets. And then you don't got to worry about like what lottery tickets are going to perform well. Or I got to ratio swap this in when it reaches a 3x or a 5x to get more pulse. Like all the games that we play, the more degenerate speculative games, you don't got to worry about that if all you're doing is building up the core positions. Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and then PHEX specifically, and then the Ink token. And that Ink token exposure there for you, Cam, will actually give you a little bit of that kind of like dopamine hit, because the Ink token will have its small runs once in a while because it is more like of the meme coin of those 4 assets. Right. So you're in a great spot by just continuing the dollar cost average into those, and you don't got to worry about these other gains. I tell people like even on our mastermind, like, well, Corey, I want this to be as hands off and easy as possible, where I don't have to look at charts, I don't have to worry about ratios, I don't have to worry about, well, man, just if you don't want to think about it, just set and forget it. Just buy the core assets, like that's it, and then you can walk away, live your life, come back a year from now and see what happened with these assets. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at that point, because then, we've had the time for the bull run to kind of do its thing. I mean, the Bitcoin halving's not even happened yet. And that's on April 20th. So it's right around the corner. I'm super excited to see what's happening with DeFi, especially as we get close to the Ethereum ETF. Like, how much liquidity it's going to bring in to DeFi. It's going to be ridiculous, because that's like a direct tap into unlimited liquidity when you tap into TradFi. I don't like TradFi. I don't like what they're about. But having their liquidity over here, man, all it does is just going to pump our bags to the moon. That's why Bitcoin's hit a new all-time high before the halving. This has never happened. We're 9 months 9 months ahead of schedule with the Bitcoin pricing and where it's at today. That is wild to me. We're either in a super cycle or we're in a left translated cycle, which we need to keep our ear to the ground on and make sure that, we're able to sell some of our bags earlier in the cycle than anticipated. But one of those two things are happening. And being that we've tapped into an unlimited source of liquidity, I mean, TradFi is trillions of dollars, man. Trillions of dollars. It could keep Bitcoin going to Richard Hart could be right. We could see $240,000. I don't know. I'm here for the ride. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But imagine Ethereum hitting $20,000 because of the Ethereum ETF. I mean, all that liquidity would flow right over to DeFi. Not to mention, some Greg the Duck owns 170,000 Ethereum. Some of that money would probably come over into Pulse Chain too. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
I'm just trying to. I'm wait until Coast gets back up so I can put more in.
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, we love Coast, man. Big update on those guys. I don't know if you heard, Cam. They found new banking partners that they're going to be working with, and so it's just a matter of time. We're hopefully within the next month, 2 months max, they should be up and running. But they've already gotten things in the works where maybe even less. So that's really super bullish news because I love having the direct on and off ramp right into Pulse Chain, avoiding the bridge, avoiding those ETH gas fees. ETH, man, I was unfortunately I had a ZenFT come due the other night, and it was even on a Sunday, and it was Sunday night. I had to mint that thing, and it still cost me. I think I paid around $900 for that Zen mint. So yeah, it was ETH is broken, man, and I don't.
And imagine if ETH does a 5x from here, then it would have been.
I just don't want to use the chain anymore, man. I want to get all these freaking
unusable.
NFTs. I have like 7 more max VMU NFTs, and they're gonna cost me a freaking fortune. I can't. I'm not gonna bridge money over from Pulse Chain to pay for the freaking gas on my NFTs. It's freaking retarded. It's just so broken. Maybe I can get a loan from Brizology because he's the ink token maxi, and maybe I can borrow some ink and I can use that to go pay my gas fees over on Ethereum. I don't know.
I'm actually in the market to buy more ink, fellas.
How you doing, brother?
I got none for sale.
Not yet. Not yet, anyways, right?
Yeah.
At least not for another 10x from here.
I like it, bro.
$100, baby.
Because of you, I doubled down on my ink bag, man. I
Congratulations.
Yeah, not only did I undo my farm because I got tired of getting wrecked over there and seeing my ink bag depleting. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna sit here and watch this happen. Because what if ink takes the seat on the rocket ship throughout this whole entire bloom? It might not, but what if it does? I'm not gonna sit there and watch my ink bag shrink in terms of PulseX or Pulse. I'm just not going to do it. I mean, I get it. Some people are okay with that. I'm not.
I had a PulseX ink farm.
That's what I had.
And, I was like, you know what? Let's put one of these out there. And then, I don't know, that was probably around $3 ink. And I had to shut it off around $5. I was like, all right. I lost 10% of the ink that I put in there.
Right. Which could be 20%, could turn to 30%, could turn it's.
But with that said, I also received a lot more PulseX. So
right, but what if ink continues outperforming PulseX throughout the bull run? It's
then that's why I shut down that farm. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep this ink and just not take them.
I literally shut it down and then I went and did a big buy. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a big bag of this. And I'm just gonna hold on to it, and so because that was my point of having the farm because I wanted to accumulate more ink. Well, I was like, since I shut my farm down, I was like, how can I get more ink? Well, I'm gonna buy it, so I'll go. Briz is farming it. I'll go buy from him.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just waiting for Coast to just get back up online, and then I'm going to put a little bit more in because I got 4 figures through all 4 of those assets, so I'm going to put a little bit more into there, and then I'm good, and then I'm just going to watch it.
Just sit on your hands, man. That is the best advice. Yeah, don't even
lie on your hands.
Just lie on your hands, man.
Yes, thank you.
I can't wait for Coast to
You're
come
lying
back.
right now.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.
See you, Cam.
See you.
See you, man.
You know, one of the strategies that I've been employing for, maybe a week now, a little less than a week or so, is I took a loan from the Earn protocol, where you can take your PulseX, PLSX, and just take a loan with stable coins. And so I did that, and I moved, and I took the PXDC, and I traded those for PLS and DAI, and I stuck that in the farm. And so now I'm earning 150% on a free loan. That's not a bad
play.
Boom. And honestly, it's
because it was stable
really
coins.
And then if you I did provide a little bit of LP for the Earn protocol, so I'm earning those like Earn protocol coins.
I like that strategy.
And I'm using those to pay back my loan as well.
That's some alpha right there, bro. Seriously, because I mean, if Paul starts ripping, you're left with stable coin into the movie. Okay, well, that's what I had before because that's what I took my loan out in. So I didn't really care. And if Pulse dips a little bit, you just get more Pulse. Like as long as you're
income coming in,
and you get the income coming in, as long as you stay in a very healthy collateral ratio on your vaults. And if you guys aren't familiar in how this stuff works, don't even bother doing it unless you really learn. And I mean, I want you to understand how the liquidations work. I want you to understand how redemptions work, because most people don't understand that's the missing piece of the puzzle. You need to understand how redemptions work and when you can get redeemed upon before you start deploying these strategies. But once you get your head wrapped around that, this is just another tool in the tool belt, like how Briz is talking about, where you can go and create more passive income and create more opportunity on top of opportunity. That's GOAT, bro. I might end up doing a little bit of that.
Brilliant, Briz. Well done. And you're also supporting the network as well. And then by doing that action, you encouraging others to do something similar, and then we can become stronger. Like I said, it's really key, vital for doing these things. And at the same time, you're not like, it's like you earn money in a country like a company, but then you pay tax in another countries. It's kind of like similar. So you spend the money in the country, and you developing the infrastructure, you're creating more jobs. So well done, Briz, man. It's really good. And if I may ask, how much the collateral ratio you used on PLSX?
90%. I don't need a lot of collateral.
90%.
No, I'm just joking. I'm confused
there.
No, when I first took the loan out,
or what?
It won't even allow you to take only 90. No, when I first took the loan out, I did 200%. So
okay,
I just took a loan out. Basically, I took half of what I put in, and that makes it a 200% collateralized.
So I do want to comment on this, and this will tie into your comment here, Briz. Archie S is saying don't worry about redemptions too much. Liquidation is the main one. I would say that's a little bit false, because I got redeemed on my liquid loans bag while I was sleeping. When I woke up in the morning and I checked my vault, I was redeemed, and I went to go buy my Pulse back. And when I did that, Pulse had left me behind. It already had gone up another 20, 30, 40%. I can't remember what it was, but that bag had left me behind. So I had to buy that bag back at a considerably higher price. So you have to be careful still, unless you're watching this all the time. If you get redeemed upon and you immediately go buy your bag back, you're fine. If you're there in front of your computer, You go, oh, I got redeemed against. You get to keep your stable coin. You just lose the Pulse or Pulse X.
And your debt goes down, right?
Right. They buy out your debt is what they do. And then you can go buy your bag back. The problem is if you're not in front of your computer, these happen when price pumps. Because what happens is they're selling off USDL or PXDC to go into green candles. That's what everyone does. Everyone buys green candles. And so you're selling down the stable coin. And then the sharks and whales of the ecosystem come buy that and they redeem it for $1 worth of Pulse and Pulse X, where they get that liquidity from your vaults. That's where they're tapping into your vaults and they're paying your loan back. And so as long as you're there to buy it back, it's fine. But if you're sleeping or you're on vacation or you're wherever, it's that's the issue that I have with it. Yeah, you're right. As long as you understand the risk, that's all that matters. And if you don't understand how to manage that risk, just educate yourself on it. I would like to see Earn Protocol put a debt in front. If anybody from Earn, Jesse, if you're watching, I would like to see a debt in front gauge be put on the front end of Earn the way Liquid Loans has. I'm able to manage my redemptions through the debt in front meter. I would like to see something like that over on Earn if you guys could.
I thought it was kind of, I had this thought. I'm like, if anyone can just buy PLSX out of my vault, it doesn't sound like a vault to me. It sounds more like a cup. You know what I mean? Like we got a cup.
And someone's coming drinking from your cup. They're like, you know what, Prince?
Hey, quit drinking my milkshake.
Without permission, too. Without permission. So, and that's what the debt in front's really good for, is you can monitor how much liquidity is in front of you. So, like, for example, on Liquid Loans, I want to stay 10 million or above in debt in front. It makes me feel I sleep good at night with that, because they'd have to redeem through $10 million before it would hit my vault. And I don't know. I mean, it could happen if obviously a price got wrecked enough, if the stable coin price got wrecked enough, I guess. But it's a good way to just monitor it. And then, yeah, so just be very mindful, educate yourself on how these things work. They're just tools. They can also get you wrecked. But the way Briz is doing it, I like to tell people like this, Briz, if you use these tools properly, it's the same as when you go buy a rental property, you take a mortgage out, you put a tenant in place, that tenant pays down your mortgage for you. And so you have a loan in place. Debt is good. The wealthy uses debt to their advantage. And that tenant's paying your loan down. One of my favorite sayings in real estate is, how do you become a millionaire? Well, you borrow $1 million and let somebody else pay it off. I love that, right? That's one of the best strategies in life to make money, is just borrow money and let someone else pay it off. And this is no different. You're borrowing the money and then you're using the yield farms, or maybe it's a stability pool too, and using ways of making passive income to pay that loan back or pay out that opportunity. So it's a great strategy when it's done responsibly. So
exactly.
You got a cat there, bro. So I'm trying to see if I got my cat around.
He always wants to jump on stream. He's just like, hey.
Is he pure black?
No, he's a tuxedo cat. So he is a
oh yeah. Okay.
He's adorable. Look at him.
He is adorable, dude.
Yeah. Beautiful.
He is adorable. I don't got mine in here. We have 4 cats, man. And it's such a pain because we take them back and forth from Arizona to Puerto Rico.
Oh wow. Dude, my cat can't even drive to the cat clinic, to the veterinarian. He's just like the whole time.
I
want to say one last thing about the redemption stuff with loan. I heard it only it goes through the first 30, or the least 30 collateralized vaults first. So it's as long as you're not the bottom 30 or even like the bottom 100, so I assume it will just like, and then they'll drop down like Tetris, And it's like, as long as you're not on the bottom, you should be fine for the most part. Just stay like in the middle of the pack when it comes to collateralization.
Another good rule of thumb too that I like, and I don't know where you stand on this, Briz, is staying above the collateral ratio of the entire protocol. So, for example, right now the total collateral ratio of the EARN protocol is 282%. Right now, I'm not really worried about redemptions or even liquidations. For the first 14 days, there is no redemptions in EARN, so it's kind of like almost like you get a free pass for a little bit. But when those redemptions turn on, I'm going to probably want to shift my collateral, because I'm like you, I have a lower collateral ratio right now, but I'm probably going to shift my collateral ratio above the total collateral ratio of the protocol. On liquid loans, total collateral ratio is 739%. And I have 780% collateral ratio on liquid loans. So I like to stay above of the total health of the protocol, because that's also what triggers the recovery mode. So when it gets down to, I don't know what point, I don't know if it's 150%. I think it's 150%. It triggers the recovery mode in the protocol. I mean, God forbid, I don't think we'll ever get down there. That's the good news, is that we'd have to get pretty wrecked for the protocol to get there. We'd have to get absolutely annihilated. And I mean, this is crypto, anything can happen. But that's where I like being.
I've been paying off my loans, so I checked my collateralization, and I'm like 900% collateralized right now. And then I looked at where I was in the pack, and I was like 900 pages or maybe vaults.
Oh, you're way back. Yeah,
I'm like in the
any of that
600 to 700 of 900.
Yeah, you would never have to worry about any of this. And Randy's got a good point. Not doing it. I don't like getting redeemed. Yeah, man. If you're not on this, managing it day by day, it can get tough. We've had members in our community that have gotten pretty pissed off
I can imagine,
at these now.
But I just want to say this though.
Yeah.
The more people maybe we get employing like my strategy of where they're taking the loans and going and getting farms. In my opinion, if we get enough people doing this, it's going to make the ink coin just be so dispersed and like kind of rare. It's just going to be given out to more and more farmers because more and more money is in there. It's going to just moonshot the price of ink.
That would, because you would have it distributed throughout a lot more hands, which is what you want with any crypto. You never want these big bag holders.
It just means that people with the same amount of money today, they're going to get less ink per day tomorrow.
So, yep, that's a very, very good point. Paul Sachs. Our middle name, Rect is the ecosystem's middle name. Yeah, it seems to pass through once in a while.
I thought it was drama.
And drama, yeah. It's like, God, sometimes, man, my 3-year-old has more social skills than some of the Hexicans on Twitter, man. It is just me. Oh, it's so bad sometimes. So cool, man.
We have to go, or
no? I'm gonna wind it down here in a little bit. I don't want to stay on too long. I was just gonna do a quick show. I'm unpacking my house today. Moving back. I bought all my studio equipment, so I'm excited to finally get that set up here in Puerto Rico. I got my good mic. I bought like this really huge monitor. I want this office here to feel like my Arizona office, and so I'm still in that process. But what were you going to say, Norbert? What were you going to say?
I was just about to say that if you come across any financial products, trading, whatever, crypto, I realize that you get to know yourself, who you really are and how you react to things. And in my opinion, just because Richard tweeted that, Bristology is cooler guy than Norbert, it shouldn't be like that. We kick Norbert out of the room, and then that's it.
100% what that means.
He can never come back, into this show ever again. You know what I mean? It's just like, people are so emotional. Like, okay, fine, you know, like it hurt a lot of people with bigger bags, but then instead of screaming, saying my trading, when I trade,
not the one that sold EHEX.
Yeah,
it was us.
exactly.
So people like actually pointing to Richard and going, "Hey, you're the one." I don't agree with that either. Like you're the one that destroyed EHEX. No, he made a statement.
So stupid. Yeah, it just said like this one looks like according to the data, because that's like
a sell button. Like I still own EHEX. I didn't push the sell button.
Yeah, me too. I haven't sold a single. I even got more.
That's why I did transfer some to EICOSA when that statement was made, because I knew EICOSA would probably hold some value better because of the new Alex thing coming up. But yeah, we are responsible for the price of
as individuals who are investors and traders, you know, like we owe it ourselves that we have to be responsible for our actions, you know, and then not making sudden emotional, not doing exactly. Yeah, it's like volatile. He's doing this, but just because he made that statement, it shouldn't have been. It should have been like, okay, so everyone is, instead of doing shitty things on Twitter, maybe just go on like spaces or reach out to other people and say, hey, this is what we're experiencing, you know, what do you think the outcome can be and what do you think the solution can be, before you make any irrational decisions, because you already in the thing, you know, like it's funny to see when I do trading and when we do trading and the news comes out, CPI data and shit like that, and then just because it came out as 0.31 instead of the expected 0.32, you know, you see like candles which destroys like 2 weeks of going up, you know, like I'm like, what? You know, like,
that's markets.
That's just like markets. So stupid that people are really so
hate
stupid.
The player, hate the game. Isn't that the old saying? Like, don't hate the player, hate the game, man. This is just, it's what you're in. It's what you signed up.
No, I love the game. That's why I'm still in it. You know,
I do too.
I learn more and trading and, you know, like not doing the crypto.
You signed up for the volatility. Like, you're not bitching when the volatility is going to the upside, but you'll bitch when it goes to the downside. You can't have one without the other. That's just how the game is played. It's like, I mean, we went through a brutal bear market with all the assets. Pulse X, I was telling you before, when I was buying Pulse after the SEC news, man, I mean, I was doing some pretty big clips down there in the bottom. And if I felt like, man, I was just dumping my money down the garbage. And it felt sickening to do those DCAs. And not only did I do that, but I also moved to Puerto Rico. Like, I moved my whole family to Puerto Rico. I'm buying Pulse in like pretty big numbers. And like, I just felt like the whole thing, I just throw away everything. Like, that's how it felt. I was throwing up in my mouth every time I would do a TCA, dude. I was just like, but I knew it was like, I had to stick to my commitment. I had to stick to what I believed was the right path. And now, like, it feels good to buy Pulse. It should never feel good to buy. Like, when I bought Ink, Briz, I was like, it felt good to buy it because it's already been pumping. It's like, that's not the way you should feel when you buy these things. You should feel like shit. That's the bottom. That's how you know you're at the bottom. Yeah. You know, is when you feel like, man, Pulse X was brutal, bro. Buying down there at like 509, I think it was the bottoms. I think I was buying, you know, like 1, 2, 1, 3. It was nasty, man.
I see big things for Pulse X in the future.
I think so too, man. I'm wildly optimistic about it. I am. And Ink, man, I think both of those could be a very main driver this market cycle. I mean, I am more heavily weighted towards Pulse because what I did is I went really heavy in the bear there when we did hit bottom. I went heavy in Pulse because I was building out node validators. And I'm not going to unwind my node validators now to go buy Pulse or Ink and buy those green candles. I'm just going to leave those there, do their thing. They're creating some passive income. And I feel like there will be a time when Pulse will be a main driver. It's not now, and that's fine. But if I were to reposition my bags, or I could go back in time, I probably would have went a little heavier on the Pulse X and Ink. Obviously, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Like
I like to say I'm irresponsibly optimistic.
Oh, you're irresponsibly optimistic, Ink. I know, bro.
Just tell me everything. I'm just a permabull. I'm just like, how
You're
are
like,
people not buying all this stuff up already? Like,
you're the Ink Maxi man. I think Dane was saying in one of our, I was on the show yesterday or one of our groups. I can't remember. He's like, man, we need to put a dog symbol on the Ink logo. I'm like, no, we don't, because then Briz might stop buying because he only buys because of the freaking logo. Don't go changing the logo now.
I was listening to that yesterday while I was driving. I was laughing.
We want the Ink Godwell to keep buying and still supporting the network. We need that.
I'm like, I like buying ink because I like the logo. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
man.
the colors.
Peanut brain, bro. Peanut brain. That's the only way I'm gonna make it through this is by being the peanut brain, dude. I just buy, hold, and
I'll tell you the ultimate strategy if you really want to be able to win in the Richard Hart ecosystem. All you got to do is pretend you have $1 billion. Pretend that you are the founder of the Pulse Chain, and then just think to yourself, what would I do if I wanted this thing to be like successful and better? And you just do that. You buy the coins that you think he would buy.
That's the strategy that Cam is doing. Well, that was on earlier. He's one of our newer onboards. That's the strategy he's deploying. He's just like, I'm buying the blue chips and only the blue chips, and that's it. And I'm going to sit and wait. That's it. And I think, dude, that literally could be the winning strategy. Like all our little DGen, lottery plays, ratio trading, like who knows what that turns out at the end of the movie. Like I had one of my ETHWell friends here in Puerto Rico. He told me, he's like, Corey, the only thing matters is how much more pulse you can get. That's it. He's like, everything else is just noise. He's like, you need to just, at the end of the movie, you need to be holding as much pulse as you possibly humanly can. And like that stuck with me because he's been through many, many layer ones, many blockchains. He's been around the block. You've been around the block too, Briz.
And dude, did you hear Richard's tweet yesterday about, he's like about the Dencun upgrade on Ethereum? And he's like, but what if Pulse goes up 10,000, 14,000x? Won't it be too expensive? Well, good thing we got that Dencun upgrade.
Good thing we decided to fork ETH 2.0, and everybody was crying about that, because we were late to market. But like everyone was crying about that. Like, look, guys, we get everything ETH gets now. So like ETH has a bigger problem than us. They'll be fixing their gas problems before us. We get to follow suit if we do start having gas problems, because they've already done it. They've already fixed the issue because they have to. Otherwise, ETH is going to just be a broken chain forever. And it's going to, who can use it? I mean,
Pulse Chain is so much lighter already. There's so many less users, less bloated. Amazing. Dude, freaking Ethereum is bloated with just crap all over it, right? And Pulse Chain is just not bloated yet.
Yeah, we don't even need the Dencun upgrade or sharding or all the other upgrades. We don't even need it. And the fact that Ethereum's getting it, now we can get it downstream whenever we want, when we start needing it, whenever we have these issues. Pulse Chain is future proof because of Ethereum 2.0. Think about that, guys. All you guys who were bitching on Twitter about us forking to ETH 2.0, man, this is probably the most GOAT decision that RH made. Like, we're future-proof now. Like, this is freaking amazing, man. Let us go 14,000x. I'm here for it, man. We're going to be all hanging out in yachts in Puerto Rico. You guys are going to fly out. I'm going to pay for it. Bring some ink tokens.
Right.
we can throw them off, like, on what's that? The Wolf of Wall Street, when he's throwing like the money off the boat. Is like there's a coupon.
Fun
coupon. We could do that with your ink tokens. We could be like, these are fun coupons. we need a meme.
No, these are meme coupons. These are the number one meme coupon on the Pulse Chain.
Sorry, God, I love it, man. Well, cool, guys. I'm gonna wind it up here a little bit. I gotta get going. I wanna get my house all ready. Plus, we're gonna be hosting dinner tonight. If you guys are on the island, come over for dinner.
Maybe I'll head on over.
Come on over, man. I'm just gonna charge
If ink it hits $1,000, I buy the ticket straight away and go to you, man. I'm an ink maxi too.
Where about in Europe are you? You don't got to give your.
I'm in London.
Oh, you're in London. Okay.
Yeah, and if you, I wanted to say, if you want to come to London and Switzerland, guys, any of you, I have some friends in Switzerland.
I got friends.
And I'm based in London, so just let me know. Pick you up from the airport or show you around or whatever you need. I do my best.
Oh man! All right, dude. Look at that. This
if you come
man,
to
crypto's the best. We have friends and community all over the world. When I got into real estate, I'll tell the story before we wind it down. But when I got into real estate, I had friends and community all over the United States. It created an opportunity where like I could travel to any state and I'd have friends I could stay with. I had Airbnbs that people would put me up for free wherever I go over the United States. That was what real estate did. Crypto opened that same opportunity for us around the world, global. And now like I can go to Panama and go see Randy and go open up a Tower Bank account so I can have a second off ramp in the middle of the bull, like because of this community. I can go see Norbert in London. I mean, it's phenomenal being part of this family, man. I'm just truly blessed to be on this journey with all you guys. So excited. So, do you guys want to shill anything or tell people can find you at before we wind it down? No,
not really.
Briz is just going to shill Ink Token anyways. Go buy Ink. That's his only shill.
Find me at the Ink Factory. I'll be working there from 9 to 5, pumping out those ink coins every second,
along with your cat.
I'm barely on social media. Oh, look at that beautiful face. I'm barely on social media as well. My final message would be to everyone, whoever is involved in Richard Heart, Push Chain, Hex, whatever, guys. Don't just make sudden irrational decisions based controlled by emotions. Just step back, reallocate, even if you have to do like a ratio trade and then still stay in the system, provide liquidity and earn fees. Then if you do that, and more transactions, the more PLS we burn, more PLSX we burn. Otherwise, if we how are we supposed to onboard people if we don't do these things? Like it's just absolutely pointless. If we don't do what we meant to do.
Agree. Briz, you want to answer this before we hop off? Being that you're the Ink Token Maxi.
Briz, do you stake all your ink and do you worry about impermanent loss if you pair with Pulse and PulseX? I do not farm my ink at all. I farm stable coins with Pulse PLS. So
to earn ink.
To earn more ink. That's how I get my ink.
Right. That's where you're getting your hands dirty.
Because like I said earlier, I did put up a fairly large ink to PulseX farm, and like between $3 and $5, and I lost like 10% of it.
A lot.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not earning 10% in this like 2 days. Like no.
Yeah, right here. No. Unless you want to wait for that to round trip back to where the ratios are in line. But you don't know when that's going to happen. Like, is it going to happen?
If it will ever happen.
Or if ever, you're absolutely correct. It's just a gamble I was not willing to I ended up pulling it. Yeah, it's a gamble I'm not willing to take right now. Once we're in the next bear and like I see us kind of like coasting sideways again or whatever, then maybe I open up some farms. I don't know, for whatever liquidity I have left, because I will be taking a lot of profits. But maybe that would be the time to open up farms.
That is the best time to farm, is when the price is going sideways.
Yeah,
you don't really experience any impermanent loss either way.
I farmed all throughout the SEC bottom.
Yeah,
I was farming all through that, and it was a great time to farm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same exact way. It's just, you just got to remember, as long as you're happy with getting the lesser coin,
I'm not happy with that.
I know, because it's like you're selling it at a big discount versus what you could have sold it at.
Yeah,
it almost feels like you're getting like 20% of what you could have gotten, but you're earning that income so it's kind of offsets it. But you know, but then again, if you ever in that farm, you have a lot, say like the stable coin, the PLS, and you lose your PLS, but you're gonna have a lot more stable coins. Eventually, if you wanted to, you can end that farm, take the stable coins, and buy back your PLS.
Right.
And now you're pretty much even again, and you have all the ink. So
yep. And you have
it's really not too big of a deal. You know.
Yeah, I think people overreacting these impermanent losses, because even if you pair ink with the PLS, the another thing is don't go all in on everything. You know, like don't be reckless. You know, don't be over doing things. Just take apart, 20-30% of your bag and chuck it in, because if you pair ink with PLS or PLSX, I couldn't care less that which one of those are gonna have more, because I like both of them. And the same goes for PHUC's website, where you can, pair all these things together. And again, like I'm just happy with all of those, because we
they're all
like
fun
them.
tools.
We like
man.
those tokens.
Loving it. So, guys, if you're watching on Twitter, I see I have 142 members on mine and 71 on Dane's. Guys, come over and subscribe to the show on YouTube. Hit the bell notification, hit the likes, comment, help the algorithm. We're going to continue bringing this content with you, where we're going to be trying to cut through the narratives as much as possible, all throughout the bull. Oh, boy. Right when we get off, we got Paul Sachs coming in. We're going to say hi to him really quick before we get off. Paul, what's up, man? You're coming in at the right when we're winding down. What you got, brother?
Paul Sachs. He's the owner of the Paul Sachs factory I work at.
Yeah, that's it. No, what's going on? Just gonna catch you soon. Hey, what's going on, Norbert? How are y'all?
We're doing, man. We're blessed.
I wish I was down on the island. That'd be fucking nice to have some nice weather. Jealous.
It's 85 degrees today, cloudy and windy.
Oh, sounds terrible. Sounds terrible. Nightmare.
Yeah. So, well, cool, man. Well, guys, I'm gonna hop off. So we'll see you next week. Next week, like normal, we'll be back on Monday, and we appreciate all of you guys. All you guys are what make this community, and we appreciate you supporting the show. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.